Hi, this is Lita Batho, and I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate on the Rise team and the Essential Wellness team and the Essential Lita team. I've been with doTERRA since early 2012, and I'm joining my friends and colleagues with this contribution to the Edge Bootcamp training because the business overview is my absolute favorite part of this training. You might even say that the business is what drew me into doTERRA. When I purchased my first products, I was not an essential oil user. I think I can even say that I had never even purchased an essential oil in my life of any brand. I didn't know much about them or how they worked, but I already had a love for strategy, business, and I had grown up in a family of sales and entrepreneurship. My dad did creative businesses of various kinds, and my mom owned retail shops. My whole childhood, I'd been encouraged to create products and sell them at my mom's stores, go with her on wholesale buying trips, and help price and package items. For me, it was second nature to look for good products and sell them. And I'd been independently employed as well my whole life, first as a sculptor, then as a yoga teacher. So I was familiar with doing my own business and working for myself. So when I opened my first package of doTERRA products, it was actually the compensation plan that caught my eye. And as I read it, I immediately thought, this is for me. I hosted my first class about a week later, and I was elite before I knew it. At that point, I still had lots of lessons to learn. We didn't have the Edge system, and it really wasn't until 2 years later when I had hit silver that I felt like I really knew what I was doing and was engaged with the business in an intelligent way. I know that this training can save you some of the time and effort that I spent trying different things and sometimes doing the business in a way that wasn't really that effective. So, regardless of the amount of time that you have to commit to the business and the goals that you may have, big or small, this system is an incredibly effective tool, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So, as we start to look at the business overview, you've probably already gone through the training prior to this, where you've learned how to grow your network, have classes, and follow up with membership overviews for your new wholesale members. You've probably dropped some hints about how much you love this business as you are teaching your class, and also directly asked the question, would you be interested in earning income with your doTERRA membership? Probably when you did your membership overview with your new enrollee. If someone is curious about how the business works, this is the webinar for you, and this is the time for the business overview. It might be helpful for you to note that the business overview is a great conversation to have with anyone who is curious about the business. It'll give them an idea of why we do this, what the income potential is, and how it works. If you think about it, someone can't make an intelligent decision about whether they'd like to do this business or how they would like to do this business without understanding what they stand to gain, what is involved, and what would be an effective way to do this business. So share this information with anybody who is even curious. I know that when I first started, I would often explain the business by collecting printed sheets and drawing pictures of how the bonus structure looks. This brochure saves me the trouble of gathering all that information and drawing the pictures for each new person because it's all included in here, starting with a little story about why you might want to look into this business in the first place. The story is called Buckets, Pipelines, and Essential Oils and is right on the front of your business overview. It's just a couple paragraphs long, so I'm going to quickly read it. There was a man who lived in a village that was 2 miles from the nearest water source. His job was to haul buckets of water to the village every day. Since everyone needed water, he had perfect job security. To earn more money, he would simply make more trips. After years of hauling buckets, he realized that if he didn't change something, he would be hauling buckets for his entire life. So he made a plan. He would haul as many buckets as he needed to pay his bills, And in his spare time, he would work on building a pipeline. He stayed consistent and persistent in his pipeline building efforts, and a few years later, he finally finished the pipeline and turned on the spigot in the village. The villagers could come and get water whenever they wanted. He not only created a pipeline of water, he created a financial pipeline that would allow him to pursue his greater cause and higher purpose in life. So you can ask yourself, are you hauling buckets or are you creating a pipeline? This business overview will demonstrate how simply sharing oils with others can help you create a financial pipeline. I've taught yoga since the year 2000, and I love teaching yoga. And at the same time, it is definitely the experience of getting paid by the class or by the student. It's a one-time payment, and in order to get paid again, I have to teach another class or private lesson. In the field of yoga, people may create a pipeline by putting out yoga books or videos or doing online trainings. Even in rather high-paying professions where people make a significant income, there's the phenomenon of carrying buckets. For instance, architects work on a project-by-project basis, and lawyers have billable hours. Anyone, no matter how large their income may be, can see the advantage of creating residual income, which will continue to flow through your pipeline once you've established it. In fact, the majority of people who make a lot of money still have to trade hours for the dollars. Sometimes to get ahead, we may invest in rental real estate and become a landlord or something like that in order to create residual income and supplement how many hours we can actually be earning money. A pipeline is defined as a business where you could walk away and it would continue to earn income for you as if you were there and present. So with the different options available to you, why choose doTERRA as your pipeline? So as you open up the business overview, you will see this page, and at the top of this page, you'll see why make doTERRA your pipeline. And you can simply read through these points. doTERRA has unlimited earning potential. There's no cap on how much you can make. So even when you hit Presidential Diamond, you can continue to build and become double Presidential Diamond, and so on. The sale of the product are independent of the opportunity. By this we mean that people love their doTERRA products, and I know that I would purchase them even if there were no business opportunity attached. In fact, the vast majority of wholesale members do just that. They create a membership because it saves them money on their purchases and simply use their account to buy the products at a discount. This is what is behind doTERRA's incredible retention rate. Even 65% shown here is a low estimate of how well we retain our customers. Some estimates I've heard are a bit higher, and it reflects the fact that once people become doTERRA users, most of us continue to use and purchase the product. About 80% of people who've joined doTERRA have ordered in the last year, and 65% have ordered in the last few months. Now, if you look at the fact that the network marketing industry standard and average retention rate is 13%, the 65% retention rate shows that doTERRA is very unique as a multi-level marketing company and unique as a business opportunity. You can just ask yourself, if the business opportunity didn't exist, would I continue to use these products? I know that absolutely I would. This is also quite a new opportunity. doTERRA has been around less than a decade. They hit the mark of being a billion-dollar company in December 2014, but are really just beginning. With our goal of empowering a healer in every home, we have hardly scratched the surface. doTERRA is also a very reliable company and not going anywhere. doTERRA is debt-free, privately owned, and continually reinvests a huge portion of its income in future sourcing and product and sustainability. doTERRA is here for the long term and plans for the long term. There's simply no other business opportunity that I know of with which you can start with such a small investment. I think it's good to note that in the last slide, I mentioned we could become real estate investors as an example of how to build a pipeline, which would take a huge investment of capital, and many of us don't have that readily available. With doTERRA, you basically invest in making yourself a knowledgeable product of the product through purchasing on loyalty rewards and having your own oils to use and sample to others. It's such a small investment to start a business, and it's an amazing opportunity for those of us who are looking for a way to create a residual income. That's why I choose to make doTERRA my pipeline. It's a great company. I work with really fun people. I enjoy my work. It's an incredibly positive and supportive environment and community, and unlimited earning potential with a stable, trustworthy, authentic company that makes an amazing product. In the next few slides, I'll go over the different ways that we earn money from doTERRA. So, as you turn to the next page and open up your business overview, you'll see this page, which at the top has retail sales. With your wholesale membership, you have a retail website. Everybody has one, which comes with membership, which others can visit and order products at retail price. When people purchase from your website, you receive a 25% commission on the value of these purchases. You can ask yourself, is retail sales a bucket or a pipeline? Not only ask yourself, but ask the person that you're talking to, because this is a good way to get them engaged in thinking about this and also get them really familiar with the difference between a bucket and a pipeline. Retail sales is a bucket because you have to work to make each sale and there's no residual income. I personally don't focus much on retail sales in my business because it doesn't carry the benefits of membership and it's the most expensive way for anyone to purchase the products. Moving on to the Fast Start bonus. The Fast Start bonus is designed to get you off to a fast start. It provides money now. It's paid out weekly based on your enrollments. As the person doing the enrolling, you must have a 100 PV loyalty rewards order to participate. The bonus is paid off of anything that your new enrollees order for their first 60 days of membership. Let's say I enrolled Sally. I would earn 20% off of anything she ordered in her first 60 days. Say Sally got really excited about the oils and enrolled her friend George. Sally earns 20% off of everything George orders in his first 60 days, and I earn 10%. If George enrolls his friend Jen, George is earning the 20% off of Jen's orders. Sally earns 10%, and I earn 5% off of Jen's orders. Now, is this a bucket or a pipeline? It's actually both. The 20% that I earn off of my enrollment of Sally is a bucket because that income only comes in when I put forth effort to go and actively share doTERRA and educate people. The 10% and the 5% is money coming in off of other people's efforts in the business. The Power of 3 bonus, which is further down the page, is designed to reward loyalty rewards orders and proper structure. How this works is that, say you enrolled Jane, Judy, and Andrea and placed them on your top line. Any month that your order plus Jane, Judy, and Andrea's are all over 100 PV and the total volume of that top line plus you is 600 PV or more, you'll get a $50 bonus. Now, if that duplicates one time and Jane, Judy, and Andrea are all getting their $50 bonus, you'll get $250. And when it duplicates on down to your third level, each month that happens, and all the little circles shown in orange on your sheet are creating a $50 bonus for the person above them, which are shown in purple, you'll get $1,500. Not just once, but every month that this occurs on your team. The power of 3 is the third way that doTERRA pays you. We've already talked about retail bonuses and fast start bonuses, and this is the third, power of 3 bonuses. So it's good to use names when describing how it works because that makes it a little bit more personal and understandable. And usually it takes people a couple times of going through it to understand, but it's actually pretty simple. Looking at the graphic, we have 3 blue circles, and those are the 3 people who have 100 LRP order. And then the little gray circles in that square are other people on your top line that didn't do 100 PV but made their order, and their smaller orders do go into the total volume of 600 needed. So to repeat, you need at least 3 people on your front line placing 100 PV LRP order, and the total volume between you and everyone on your front line is 600 PV to get your $50 power of 3 bonus. Once you've figured out how to get yourself the $50 power of 3 bonus, then all you need is duplication. If those 3 people under you do the same, you're getting $250. And if those 9 people under them do the same, you're getting $1,500. Is this a bucket or a pipeline? Well, it's a pipeline because once you've educated your wellness advocates, they're knowledgeable about the products and loving the products and ordering them, these bonuses will fall into place just through having placed people properly in your organization and continuing to support and educate them as they need. This completes the first inside page of the business overview. And at these 3 bonuses I've already talked about, the retail, fast start, and power of 3 bonuses, they're the first way people typically see income from doTERRA. And in the beginning, these will be the biggest part of their paycheck. So in the short term, these are the bonuses that people are going to need to understand and are going to receive at first. At this point in the overview, I tend to check in with people and say, how are you doing? I watch for signs that they're beginning to glaze over or get distracted. I say, how are you feeling about this? I also say, please realize that I don't expect you to remember all this after hearing it one time, and I'm going to be here to help you as you learn. So this is just an overview of how the business works, but it'll be easy to understand as you begin to put it into practice, and I'll be here to guide you and answer questions. We have a great team, we have great trainings, we have great mentorship, and nobody is doing this alone. I know when I started this business, I said a couple things that are very common. One of the things I said was, I said this directly to my upline enroller. I said, I don't know anyone, and the people that I do know already have doTERRA oils. It was actually really reassuring to me when my upline said, you won't be doing this alone, and there are people who will enroll with you. Of course, she was right, but it was good to hear that. So stay tuned into the person you're talking to and be flexible. If they're getting overwhelmed, step back for a moment. There may be occasions when you need to break this business overview into 2 sessions. But usually by just checking in with them and connecting with them, giving them a little break from the numbers, they'll be ready to go on to the next page, which is actually really exciting. So the next page is the unilevel bonus page. And the unilevel, well, in the beginning it's small, it's ultimately, as you go on in the business, going to be your biggest source of income. It's my favorite bonus and my biggest bonus. So with the unilevel bonus, you get paid on 7 levels underneath you. You get paid on 7 levels of referrals. you receive a percentage of the purchases of each person on each level. If you look at the little rainbow chart, you can notice how the percentage grows the further down or the deeper into your organization it goes. So you receive the least on the least and the most income where there are the most people ordering, because you'll probably have fewer people, say, on your top line, few more people on your second line, and a few more people on your third line, maybe many more. If you had an organization that grew by 3, and they each enroll 3, and they each enroll 3, and so on, based on orders of 150 PV per month, you're looking at a $32,000 a month bonus based on that perfect structure. So that's shown in the colored chart. And then that smaller gray kind of sad chart over on the right-hand side shows how other companies in network marketing typically pay and how they structure their compensation. It's actually the opposite of ours. So the bigger percentages are at the top, where there are actually fewer people, and the smaller percentages are at the bottom. So this is interesting because it's the exact same amount of people enrolled, structured in exactly the same way, with the exact same volume in sales, and the end amount is actually about $20,000 less per month. So that is a significant advantage that we have with doTERRA, that as you grow your organization, you stand to make much, much more through the unilevel bonus. Of course, it brings up the question, why do other companies do it that way? And it's really because of their retention rate. If your retention rate is only around 13%, you know that after about a year, 87% of your customers are going to be leaving. So they pay them more at the outset and then know that down the line, everybody's going to kind of flake off. doTERRA knows that an average of 65% of people are sticking around, continuing to purchase, and that allows us to have a much bigger reward later. doTERRA as a company plans for the long term, and they know it's best for us if we do too. They know that we're sticking around because we love the products and we love the business and we love working with doTERRA, and we'll have a greater income because of it. So of course, if you ask, is the unilevel bonus a pipeline or a bucket, it's pretty clear that it is a pipeline. So the final bonus is the leadership bonus pools, which are paid monthly. And this bonus has to do with rewarding ranks. As your business grows and reaches certain sizes, you reach certain ranks, which are dependent upon the structure of your business and the size of your business. Each month, doTERRA takes 6% of their profits and divides it among 5 different pools. For the first pool, it's divided among silver, gold, and platinum ranks. They slice it up like a pie, and if you're silver, you get 1 share, a gold gets 5 shares, and a platinum gets 10 shares. So 1% of that 6% of profit is divided among diamonds, blue diamonds, and presidential diamonds. The diamonds get 1 share of this, blue diamonds get 2 shares, and presidential diamonds get 3 shares. They take an additional 1% and split it just among diamonds. Then they take an additional 1% and split it just among blue diamonds, and take an additional 1% and split it among presidential diamonds. The company's volume is constantly growing. So even though you do have more people jumping in and achieving these ranks and receiving bonuses from these pools as their business grows, the volume of the pools is increasing, which keeps the shares roughly amounting about the same. So a diamond in the company is going to get one slice of the pie, and a slice here is about $4,000 a month. A blue diamond gets two shares, and a slice is about, so their slice is about $12,000 a month in shares. A presidential diamond gets three slices, and a slice for them is about $35,000 a month. You can also get extra shares, even staying, say, at silver, the first leadership rank. Each time someone you personally enrolled hits the rank of elite, you get an extra share. A diamond or a blue diamond will get an extra share out of each pool each time someone they personally enrolled hits premier. And a presidential diamond will receive an extra share from each of the pools when someone they personally enrolled hits silver for the first time. So there are just 3 presentations we have to get really good at in order to achieve these goals in doTERRA. We have to get good at presenting a class. We have to become skillful at presenting a membership overview. And we have to become skillful at presenting the business overview. That's it. There's 3 presentations. Just get good at those, present them many times, and practice them. And it may be work for you, but get out there and give as many presentations as you possibly can, and you will get good at them, and it's worth it. So the next question is, well, first of all, the next question is, are these leadership pools a pipeline or a bucket? And I'll give you a moment to answer that for yourself, but I think that you can probably guess they're a pipeline. So of course, after going through this information, people are curious to know, how do I get to those ranks? And luckily, this is all described on the back of the sheet. But basically, before you get to those ranks, you're probably going to get to executive, which is 2,000 OV, or organizational volume, on a given month. Elite is 3,000 organizational volume. And Premier is 5,000 organizational volume. And a Premier is the first rank that needs a certain structure. A Premier with $5,000 or PV in volume has 2 legs, personally enrolled, that are executive at 2,000 PV. So it's like they've taken 2 of those little green executives and put them under the Premier. They have a total of 4,000 from those legs, but 5,000 total, and that makes them Premier. To get to the next ranks, silver, gold, platinum, it's basically all built with elites and premiers and executives. This back of the brochure also shows the average incomes, which are from doTERRA, and I know they're accurate because I've been at some of these ranks, and I have close friends who are at some of these ranks. Now, as you're going through the business overview, it's really quite reassuring for people to hear that there's not just one person, or it's not just that I've heard of someone who's hit these ranks or seen people at convention. No. I know lots of people in this business and can count 5 friends, at least, close friends who are diamonds, and at least 5 more friends who are platinum and gold, close friends in Portland. And I see this happening with my own local community and my own friends and my own personal experience. So I know that these ranks are attainable. And for those who stay the course, think long term, learn how to do this business effectively, hold themselves accountable, and work with their upline mentors, this is not only doable, it's predictable. So as you look at these ranks, where a silver makes an average of $2,200 a month, a gold makes an average of $4,800 a month, platinum makes, according to this brochure, $8,800 a month on average, diamond is about $17,000 a month, blue diamond $41,000 per month, and presidential diamond at $114,300 per month. You can ask the person you're talking to, What rank could you see yourself going for? With the help of your community and your mentor, um, what rank would you like to achieve, or how would you like to use your membership? Anything from just paying for your oils to, double presidential diamond. People usually answer, well, presidential diamond sounds pretty awesome and is the second most popular answer. But most people, after hearing this, usually say, I think I would like to shoot for gold. Now, $4,800 is a number that people can relate to, and they think, well, that's a decent income. I could pay my bills with $4,800 a month. That's not only, let's not go overboard. Let's not get overinflated. I think maybe I can get there. And also, from personal experience, I can tell you that once you get there, you might dream a little bit bigger. But whatever your goal is, whether it's to make $200 a month to pay for your oils or to hit presidential diamond, the first step is to get a class on the calendar. You can even have someone cluster 2 or 3 classes over a weekend so they can offer their guests different times to come, and also so they can get their first 2 or 3 classes under their belt and start to feel comfortable with how this works. Whatever you do, create an actionable step that will help them move towards their goal. Scheduling a class will also help you as their enroller to see how they do with getting people to come to class, what their circle of influence is, and how they might fit into your business structure. Of course, once you schedule a class, you'll help them prepare and help them fill out their fast track planner, which is one of the next presentations in this series, and coach them on how to invite people. With your help, your new enrollee will have a successful event. So, lastly, scheduling a class will typically create a nice fast start bonus for them. And this is important because it will solidify their belief in the business. There's nothing quite like receiving an actual check in the mail to confirm that this is for real and this is doable. Now, if you show up to teach a class at their house or at their place and no guests show up, that's okay, and that's also an indicator that this person may not be a candidate for a top line spot in your business. This business isn't for everyone, and once you realize that, it will actually become a lot easier. People self-select and show up or don't show up. And while it's true that you never know who will decide to jump in with both feet, you have to also know that not everybody wants it as badly as you do. Let me give you a tip. This is one of my favorite tips, actually, and one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in this business. The fastest way that people burn out in this business is when they try to pull people into it who are not into it. Now, you might know somebody and think, that person would be so great at this, or they have the best network and know the best people, or they say they want to do it, but then they don't do anything. Or have you ever had the situation where someone got really excited about the business and had all these dreams and plans, but they weren't actually doing anything? So maybe you put a few new enrollees under them, or maybe you bought them some self-help books, or maybe you paid for them to go to a training, and they still didn't do anything. So all this can be a bit distracting and misleading. One of my favorite coaches, Tiffany Peterson, it might not be Tiffany Peterson, but I think it is, calls this hopium, like you're drunk on hopium and you're hoping that somebody's going to show up and start doing the business. You really have to watch for people who move towards you and want to run with you in this business. Watch for people who would do this business even if you didn't exist. These are the kind of people you want for your top line builders. We all want builders to show up, and we all want builders to show up as quickly as possible. Sometimes we feel tempted to cajole, bribe, hope, and think, if I just pour enough love into this person and encourage them and incentivize them and stack some other members under them, they're going to light up and do great in this business. But if you remember one thing from this presentation, remember this. If you are building under non-builders, hoping they will spring into action when they've never actually taken any action, you're setting yourself up for disappointment, discouragement, and you may even burn out. This business can invigorate, inspire, and lift all of us up to higher highs and greater freedom than we ever knew. This business can reinvigorate your life and make it better than you ever knew. But it's when we become the leaders that we would like to have and act like the builders that we would like to attract, that we draw people to us who will love this business as much as we do and choose to do the business whether you are there or not. So it's really true that this business becomes a lot easier once you realize it isn't for everyone. Some people just don't want it. It's that simple, and it's totally fine. Continue to invite everybody. Include and nurture everybody, and work with those who move towards you. Now, if despite this extensive and comprehensive explanation of the business, the person in front of you says, "Oh, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if this is what I want to do." And by the way, I forgot to forward my slide, so just a minute. If the person says, "I don't know if this is for me, I don't know if this is what I want to do," this is when you can give them the Buckets, Pipelines, and Essential Oils disc. It's a 30-minute audio disc with Rod Richardson and Seth Risenmay, who created the EDGE system. And it's really a good way to open people's eyes to the difference between hauling buckets and building a pipeline. And, a lot of people still have a CD player in their car, and a lot of people spend time in their car, and you can just say, hey, give this a listen. Let me know what you think. And sometimes that's helpful for them to hear it one more time in a different way in somebody else's voice. So some of those CDs are included when you buy a package of the EDGE business supplies. And those who don't want to get involved with the business, it's fine to just keep inviting them. People's lives change maybe every 6 months to a year, and sometimes people just aren't ready yet. Overall, you're going to succeed in this business when you no longer care if your prospect says yes or no. So when you get to that point when you can, there's the Buckets and Pipeline CD, by the way, when you can do the business and just be confident in what you're doing, you have an awesome cookie and you'd love to share it with somebody. But if they say no, that's fine. A no is actually better than a maybe or a I don't know. So it gives you the clarity and space to move on and offer the business overview to someone else, to work with someone else who is ready to run with you. So thank you for listening to my business overview presentation. I hope it helps. And get out your business overview sheet and give it a practice. Practice on a friend, practice on your next enrollee. And trust me, it gets easier the more times that you do it. So thanks again. This is Lita Batho, and I wish you great luck and great success in your business.